We are learning more about a crash that killed a young woman on a busy southern Kentucky highway. New details about the victim ahead.
Colder weather pushing on into the Bluegrass State as we get ready to flip the calendar to 2016, and I'm tracking it all.
Some big changes could be coming to the state's healthcare system. We'll have the announcement from Frankfort.
This is WKYT News at 4.
Good afternoon to you and welcome to WKYT News at 4. I'm Amber Philpott reporting. Jennifer has the afternoon off. It is another mainly dry day in the Bluegrass State as colder air pushes in to start out our new year. Take a look. This is a live look now of downtown Lexington out there. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Amber. A lot of clouds out there right now as that colder air kind of seeps its way in from northwest to southeast. Started out the day with a light shower into the Bluegrass region. Those rains a little more prominent as expected southeastern Kentucky, but you can actually see some of that colder air coming into play right now. Look at the low clouds and reduced visibility that we are seeing now with our sky cam. Downtown Lexington somewhere in the distance, and I can tell you just in the matter of the past couple of minutes, we've noticed that skyline kind of going by the wayside because of the lowering ceiling. The low clouds out there. Area of low pressure to our southeast. That's the warm air that we've been enjoying for the past few weeks. Now across the southeastern corner of the country, chilly and colder air across central and eastern Kentucky over the next several days. Defender radar network showing that quick-hitting band of rain pressing out of southeastern Kentucky into Virginia and West Virginia. Temperature difference, it's out there again. 40 Owensboro. Upper 30s showing up into western Kentucky right now, yet 55 degrees into far southeastern Kentucky. That colder air is going to continue to push on into town, coming at us from northwest to southeast. So if you're out and about this evening, plan on an evening with some clouds. Seasonal temperatures mainly in the 30s. Cold and a quiet pattern taking shape over the next 7 days. We'll break that down, including the all-important New Year's Eve forecast, Amber, in a few.
All right, Chris, we'll see you then. Thank you. We now know who the young woman was who was killed in a crash in southern Kentucky this morning. 20-year-old Taylor Brinson was killed on Kentucky 90 in Wayne County after a three-vehicle crash. WKYT's Phil Pendleton has been tracking the story all day and has more from Wayne County. It's our top story at 4.
It happened about 8 o'clock this morning. I'm told that a woman in a white Ford Mustang was traveling west across this roadway here across Kentucky 90 when her car then collided with two tractor trailers. State police worked nearly an hour to reconstruct what happened. Nearly a dozen officers with Kentucky Vehicle Enforcement and state police were on the scene along with other emergency officials and first responders. The car that the young lady was in was almost unrecognizable given the damage after it collided with two tractor trailers. Police say that Mustang was driven by 20-year-old Taylor N. Brinson. She was traveling across 90 when she pulled into the path of one tractor trailer, and that impact knocked the car into the path of a second one. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Larry Muse spoke to one of the truck drivers who said he had no time to react.
He set down the brakes and said he had no reaction time, and the gentleman behind him said he ran up. He was driving a utility truck, said he went up as soon as it happened, said he'd see if she have a pulse, and she didn't. He said he'd been a former EMT, and he said he's afraid the worst would be, and evidently it was.
I spoke briefly with the victim's family. They said that they did not want to say anything about the woman, only to say that they had not lived in this community very long. In Wayne County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
And police tell us that the two truck drivers were not hurt in that crash. A mother found unresponsive in her home has died. Police say a child found Brandon and Jill Carrier unresponsive at a home on Highland Avenue last night. That child then went to its grandmother for help. Both adults were taken to UK Hospital where Jill Carrier died. The coroner's office says they have an idea of what caused her death, but they're still working on an exact cause pending toxicology results. We're told Brandon Carrier's condition is improving. You'll hear from Jill Carrier's mother ahead on WKYT News. Changes will be coming to the state Medicaid system. Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin held a news conference this morning to announce how the state will move forward with transforming the program. The governor says he is assembling a team that will begin drafting a Medicaid waiver program that would replace the state's current health care program. He said concerns by the Beshear administration that people would lose access to health care were an attempt to hide the fact the state couldn't afford to continue with that plan.
We are going to transform the way in which Medicaid is delivered in Kentucky, and this transformation, I think, will be a model to the nation. That is the intention. It is to find a solution for us, but one that, frankly, will serve as a beacon for others as well, because ultimately, it's a function of making sure it's sustainable.
Governor Bevin says if the plan they're crafting doesn't work, the state will move forward with the structure it currently has. We are working on a number of other stories for you on WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Dick joins us now from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Hello, Sam.
Good afternoon, Amber. It's a crime that's been happening again and again. A burglar has broken into the Midway Small Animal Clinic several times recently. But when the burglar broke in last night, he came pretty close to getting caught. This time, he was confronted by a former police officer who had started staking out the clinic, waiting for the thief to arrive. The burglar was able to run off into the woods, but the Woodford County Sheriff's Office thinks they can still get a pretty good picture of the man from the video. We'll have more on this story ahead on WKYT News coming up at 4:30. Police say a disturbance at a Louisville mall is the result of months of problems in that area. Multiple fights broke out at the mall St. Matthews on Saturday, causing it to close early. Today, police said officers have responded to problems around the mall for months. Those include juveniles throwing rocks at windshields and an armed robbery outside a school.
December 26th was not just a one-time event, if you will. It was probably a powder kegging or a stacking, if you will, of several months of activity going on in that particular area of our city.
Police say they have increased patrols around the mall since Black Friday. St. Matthews police say only 4 officers were on duty when the fights broke out, and they had to call in Jeffersontown police to help out. Police say that most of the people at the mall were there for legitimate purposes. We'll have more on the incidents ahead on WKYT News at 5:30. The family of a state trooper killed in a car crash in western Kentucky has arranged a memorial fund to help a graduating senior go to college. Money donated to the Eric Chrisman Memorial Scholarship Fund will be used to provide a scholarship to one graduating student from the Christian Academy every year. In June, the 23-year-old trooper was involved in a crash near the Marshall-Livingston County line. Police say his cruiser hit a tractor trailer while he was responding to a reckless driving complaint. Trooper Chrisman was from Anderson County and graduated from the Christian Academy of Lawrenceburg. We'll have more details on the scholarship on WKYT News at 4:30. That's a look at some of the news in progress. Amber, back to you.
Sam, thank you. Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. Disgraced comedian Bill Cosby will remain free on $1 million bail after his arraignment today on a sexual assault charge in Pennsylvania. Over the past few years, more than 50 women have alleged the comedian touched them inappropriately and in some cases drugged them and raped them. But this is the first time Cosby has been charged. Kenneth Craig has more.
Bill Cosby left a Pennsylvania courthouse Wednesday afternoon after his arraignment on charges of felony sexual assault. Bail was set at $1 million. The 78-year-old comedian is charged with aggravated indecent assault against a female employee of Temple University, Cosby's alma mater.
These charges stem from a sexual assault that took place on an evening in early 2004. At Mr. Cosby's home.
This is the first time Cosby has been charged, despite years of accusations by more than 50 women. The allegations in the criminal complaint echo claims made by other accusers.
On the evening in question, Mr. Cosby urged her to take pills that he provided to her and to drink wine, the effect of which rendered her unable to move or respond.
The charges against Cosby are second-degree felonies. If convicted, the 78-year-old could face 5 to 10 years in prison and a $25,000 fine. But that might not be the worst of it. Several other accusers have filed lawsuits against Cosby. Attorney Joseph Camerata represents 7 of them.
If he's convicted of similar type of conduct, it has a significant impact on the civil case.
Cosby has publicly denied any wrongdoing, but in court documents related to this current case, he acknowledged a series of affairs and sexual encounters outside of his marriage of almost 52 years. His next court date is January 14th. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Elkins Park, Pennsylvania.
Cosby had to turn over his passport before he was booked and fingerprinted before posting his $1 million bail.